Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Insurrection Anthology reading. This is hosted by Gnashing Teeth Publishing. We're really excited to have some of the authors join us from the anthology. This was a very special anthology for sure. We had a very short call for submissions, and we had a very short turnaround time to put this anthology out because of the timeliness of the events surrounding January 6th of 2021. I think everyone knows what happened that day. And when we do have a little Q&A at the end, I would encourage you not to talk about and focus on the insurrection, but rather about the poets and their work dealing with the insurrection. And at this time, I'm going to introduce our first reader, Diana Tennis. Diana was born and raised in the San Francisco Bay Area. She's worked as an actress, makeup artist, costume designer for film and TV. She has poetry published at the International Museum of Art in San Francisco Virtual Poetry Night and the 34th Annual Emeryville Art Exhibition online event. She's been on OzCat Radio reading poetry, is in Verses, Voices, and Visions of Vallejo anthology, and has over 400 poems published on Instagram under Get Your Happy. And feel free to drop your Instagram handle in the chat if you'd like. And now we're going to hear from Diana Tennis.
My poem today is called Disconnect. Democracy crumbles, crashes, cannot unsee, shatters, glass, screech, civilian, military, camouflage, cover, Capitol steps, blonde woman delights to destroy. Shaman, dress up horns. War painted faces. White people attacking their own. Images we have never seen. Dare to be believed. Suicide. Resignations, impeachment, denial, threatens, intimidation, lies, more lies. Where is truth? Who do we believe? Why? Masked, unmasked, pandemic, death, morgue. When do we collapse into despair? Confinement, Zoom calls, connection. Disconnect. Retrieve. Bootstraps. When are we enough? Are we enough to withstand? Time out. Battle gear. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. What an amazing way to open this reading. and Diana Tennis. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Next up, we have Jack Friedman. He is a poet and spoken word artist from Staten Island, New York. Publications featuring his work span 13 countries, and under the pseudonym Jacob Moses, he has penned And the Willow Smiled, Art Therapy, and Seance. And now we're going to hear from Jack Friedman.
Good afternoon or good morning, wherever everybody may be. The poem that I'm going to read is from the book, assuming that I can get it to a point where it doesn't disappear. Okay, perfect. And this is called Assassination of Democracy. It's a sonnet. Assassination of democracy. Our values plummeted in pits of hell. Screw this unbridled animosity. Participation in fascism dwells, unleashing fury on our paradigm, eradicating our security, dreading white power like a hackneyed rhyme, red roses, blue violets, and perjury. We never thought tear gas would be welcome, and wishing hate mongers would bite the dust. Decorum wanted, diplomacy shunned. I know I'm not the only one who cussed. Trump ends 4 years of hubris with violence. Screw using our rights to remain silent. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jack Friedman. All right. Next, we have Jacqueline Carley. She is an expat who has lived in Berlin most of her life. A recognized and prolific choreographer, she eventually turned to writing. She has written 4 books, which are only available in German, edited others, and occasionally publishes poetry. And now we're going to hear from Jacqueline.
Sitting in the deepest East German village you can imagine. That's where I basically live. So it's a real irony to talk about politics and poetry as I do live in former East Germany. Anyway, when gut punched, respond. Strengthen the core, stop chewing the fat. It's tough to grow more sinew. Tough to be fast and furious, to be both measured and mean. But we the people beg to the dance, too sweet, two step, into this honors moment. Masks on, spines straight, let the beat of carnage ring in your ears every working day. Godspeed, let SCOTUS grow quickly. Enforce vaccines spread, eliminate evictions, abate this terrible hunger.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jacqueline, for that. Next up, we have Henry Greenspan. Henry is a playwright, a poet, and psychologist at the University of Michigan. He has been writing op-eds that predicted January the 6th since 2016. There was nothing unimaginable.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A perfect introduction for this piece, which was actually written on December 30th, anticipating, which was everywhere, as we know. Trump was tweeting about the wild time that was being planned. It's called In America and goes this way. In Peru, there is a desert of radio telescopes receiving signals from all the pacemakers in America. Heart rhythms are gathered there. Cardio gods search tracings in America. They find disordered pulses, crazy beats, broken rhythms in America. Code blue, defib, clear, say the gods, send shock to America. No shock. We knew, said America.
Thank you. Yeah. The warning signs were there.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Henry, for that. Next up, reading, we have D.L. Lang. She is the author of 13 poetry books, most recently, This Festival of Dreams. She has served as Poet Laureate of Vallejo, California from 2017 to 2019, and her poems have been transformed into songs, Jewish liturgy, and used to advocate for peace and justice. She enjoys birdwatching, hiking, and 60s music, which is much happier. All right. So, and DL, take it away.
This poem is called Coup des Imbeciles. The day the fascists stormed the Capitol, urged on by the fascist in chief, we all looked on in disbelief at just how easily she was breached. Some cops just opened the doors, like these thugs were invited guests, but those same cops would have gassed or killed any of us who stand on the left. The arrogant posed for selfies, the childish ransacked offices, but it was clear for all of us that violence was their true intent. They carried pitchforks, bats, guns, gas, bombs, and a noose. This march was never peaceful. The mob replaced their country's flag with the flag of their leader, their false patriotism lying naked for all to see. For their true allegiance lies with the Confederacy, peddling heinous lies since the 1860s. But we, the people, will not go down that easily. We've defeated you before, and we'll do it once more. We shall never cease to work towards a better world where all peoples may live in peace. Justice will triumph over evil. Love will squash your hatred. Your privilege can only carry you so far. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, DL, for that. Next up is Rochelle Newman-Carrasco. She's a published author, essayist, playwright, and sometimes spoken word artist. She has written for Page and Stage. Originally from the Lower East Side of Manhattan, she now lives in Los Angeles with her husband, Carlos, and dog, Squink. Did I say the dog's name right? Squink.
You did, and he appreciates it. He's very sensitive. Okay. Thank you very much, Gnashing Teeth and all the poets. This piece was written on Martin Luther King Day, inspired by an Twitter tweet, and it read, Ivanka Trump, and it's the title of the piece. Ivanka Trump needs to keep MLK out of her mouth. Ivanka Trump needs to keep MLK out of her mouth. There is a concerted effort in the South to stop the black vote. It's not a footnote in history. It's not a mystery. It's a fact. They create laws and we hardly react. We being white Americans. Not all, but some. The fact that I even had to say that is dumb. It speaks to our fragility instead of our ability to look at what the U.S. is and has always been when it comes to the color of skin. Whiteness has always reigned, and that supremacy has remained, relationships strained. But more than that, lives taken as they peacefully sat, Breonna Taylor, in their own homes. Yet whiteness walks into the Capitol dome and gets to sit down, like that clown that put his feet on the desk, sat there knowing he was in no risk. As the Capitol Police, if I can call them such, said, "Please, sir, be careful. If you mind, please don't touch." And we all know the score. If black men and women had made their way through that door, they would be dead. But instead, the welcome mat was laid out, and whiteness had no doubt it was safe. It owned the space. It was allowed to hate and terrorize. Not one thing we saw was a surprise. Shocking, perhaps, but that's because whiteness lets memory lapse. We keep thinking the past is done because whiteness is not the one that gets pulled over, shot, and killed. 2 hands on the wheel is instilled in black children, while white children get no talk at all. Or perhaps it's look both ways before you cross and don't run with scissors. What a loss. What a truth we need to face. If we are ever going to get this place, this USA, to live up to its full potential, we need to be more than judgmental. We must accept the truth. A lie cannot live forever. A lie that says we are better than this, but allows whiteness to piss on the rotunda, allows whiteness to thunder cries of hate. It may be too late is a privileged stance. Biden will fix it is more romance. This isn't the work of one man, nor Harris as his VP making history, nor Stacey Abrams as much as she has done. And she wasn't the only one, but black women aren't here to save white America. Although they are certainly doing a great job, they certainly merit our what? Our thanks, our gratitude? Okay, but it seems almost rude to thank them and still turn our backs on the number of dead and imprisoned citizens that are black. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Just such powerful poetry being read here today and being shared. And I'm just blown away by all of your words. Next up, we have Susan K. Anderson. She lives in Oregon's, I know I'm not saying this right, Umpqua River Basin. It's a watershed, including the nearby Calapooia Creek. I should have asked how to pronounce these words first, sorry. Finishing Line Press published her first book of poems, Mezzanine, in 2019, and will also bring out Please Plant This Book, Coast to Coast, in May of this year. All right, so that's Susan K. Anderson. Let me find you on the list here. There you are.
Hello, everyone. Oh, thanks so much for holding this. The house we find ourselves in. We watch from the safety of the living room how it was in Germany at the beginning of her life, now nearing the end of her life. Wish, peace. The mob, the monsters crashing into it all. Mom, did your parents ever go hiking in the Alps? No, they were too busy with working, with war, having kids, so busy. Wish, peace. I saw the mob when they wanted food. It was like that. It was murderous. I look at Oregon, just out the window, dripping into the grass, the log trucks rolling, mechanical roars of their wheels, our hearts. Her blood pressure is off the charts. What have they done this time for our whole lives?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Susan, for that. Next up, we have Paul Yuhas. Seduced by the spirit of Red Earth, Paul has recently moved from Pennsylvania to Oklahoma City. He's read at dozens of conferences and festivals around the country, including Scissortail and the Woody Guthrie Festival. And his work has appeared in Bio Stories, Red River Review, Red Earth Review, and a whole bunch more. Check out his bio when you get the book. His first book, Fulfillment, Diary of a Warehouse Picker, was published in July of 2020. And now we're going to go to Paul, if I can find you. There you are.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate being included in this project. I'm going to read for you guys a prose poem called Support Group. Uncle Sam sits on a cold metal folding chair, his head in his hands. The glowering I want you look that once so inspired, replaced by a what the fuck expression. He was crying a while ago. It's been a big year for crying. And the crying's not likely over, George Floyd whispers in one ear. Not by a long shot, the Proud Boys laugh in his other. The symptoms shall recur when the disease remains untreated, Dr. King reminds one ear. We'll make America great again, Donald Trump promises the other. Chief Seattle stands before him, holding a pile of frayed and weathered papers. Is now a good time, he asks. He looks around at the rest of the support group gathered in this circle of folding chairs, drinking tepid cups of watered down coffee. Helen of Troy stares into her compact, blithely applying lipstick. Dr. Frankenstein is hugging himself against phantom Arctic chill, muttering in hollow confusion, but I created him. Beside him, Oppenheimer mutters much the same thing. Faust, hallowed in brimstone glow, ravenously reads volume after volume. Sitting next to Uncle Sam, an ordinary German from Lower Saxony, sits silently, a gathering of ash powdering each shoulder. He is clouded in the faint stench of burning something. Uncle Sam stands, takes in the group with a final dismissive glance. He's not interested in anything they have to say. He doesn't belong here. He's not one of them. His problem's not that bad. He can handle it. He'll fix it himself. He's special. And so he leaves the room. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Coming up next, we have Madge OCallaghan. She lives in County Clare, Ireland, and is originally from Cabra West in Dublin. In 2015, she was awarded gold at the World Festival of Radio in New York for her first radio documentary, My Uncle Jack. She completed her first collection of poetry, Positive Deviance, while studying for an MA in creative writing at DCU. She reads her poems at open mics and facilitates 2 online creative writing groups. There's just like a whole bunch of stuff. So check out everybody's bios, by the way. She is in the process of developing a writer's retreat house in Clare. So, Madge, it's all you.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you everybody who's read so far. It's a great opportunity to read here. I'm sitting looking out at the estuary of the Shannon River as I read here this evening. And my poem is called Nullig Naman at the People's House. And for those of you who don't speak Irish, Nullig Naman is Little Christmas or Women's Christmas, and it falls on the 6th of January each year. And it's meant to be the final day of Christmas when women take a back seat and rest after all the hard work they've done during the Christmas season. So while we were having Nullig Naman in Ireland, you were having insurrection in Washington. Nullig Naman in the People's House. Proud American Christian flags, stars and stripes and bayonets. Jesus saves. Not this woman, though, on Nullig Naman. Run up these steps, break a window, climb in, terrorize the people in the People's House, confirming that they realize that we know they cheated. This is the way we deal with cheaters. We believe in God. We believe in the knave who ranks above the others. We don't believe in the fake pandemic or fake election results or fake democracy. We don't have to, because God is on our side to take back our great country, our white Christian country. We know what to expect. It happened before. It's happened before when they tried to show that Black Lives Matter. They didn't. These are things that happen. Too chirpy at last. fueled by lies. Whose lies? And we so busy watching ourselves, isolating, minding ourselves, staying home, staying safe, staying well, while a narcissistic psychopath persuades his flock to drink the Kool-Aid on Nullig Naman 2021.
Thank you so much for that. And I love learning about that Nullig Naman. Sorry, I can't say anything right, but it was, you can read about it. I left a little paragraph about that holiday in the anthology, so you have context for that. Next up is Kelly Nielsen. She is a writer living in Sweden, though she has also called the US, Turkey, and Indonesia home. Her work is published or forthcoming in the Kaleidoscope and Cobra Milk. And there you are.
Hi there. First off, thanks, Karen, and thank you to all the other writers. This is really nice. A little context. I didn't write a poem, so this is an essay about sort of anxiety around the inauguration and sort of watching it from afar. So I'll read a portion of that. What am I afraid of? An attack at the inauguration, yes, something violent and horrific, but not only that. I'm afraid of the damage Trump's non-response to the pandemic has done and continues to do. I'm afraid of the 74 million people who still voted for Trump. I'm afraid my country is standing at the edge of a cliff, and even though we've taken a step back towards safety, we're still terribly close to the precipice. Some part of us still wants to reach out a toe to test the brink. After dinner, I sit on the couch, scrolling through feeds and finding only joy, fist bumps and knowing smiles, glorious inaugural fashion, Bernie and his mittens in meme after meme after meme, and the poet, the brilliant young poet offering hope. I see grinning friends posing with politicians via their TVs. There are photos of children, bellies round, mouths open, deciphering the event. There are people crying with hope, with pride, with the dizziness of new firsts. It's only then that I cry. It's only then I realize how anxious I am, how jealous I am of their effortless joy. Distraction is in order. My husband and I play a board game. We line plastic trains up, cover my country with an incoherent web of railways. We watch a sitcom, see two men find peace in the weightlessness of bouncing on a trampoline. I'm still shivering electricity. I have another drink. I know what you're thinking. You don't want this narrative. You want to keep your joy, your hope, your exultation. You don't want this anxiety, this fear, especially from such a privileged person. You want rich, colorful coats. You want bravery. You want a message of hope and unity against all that's grim in this world. I get it. I want those things too. But what do we do when our bodies fail to embrace the joy offered to us? The past president has traumatized many of us. It is a trauma felt deep in the body, a trauma we're still processing. So many of us are still in emergency mode, still overwhelmed by the vast problems our country and world must face. This does not excuse us from taking action. There is much work to do. However, we must pair this action with healing, and we heal in messy, unpredictable ways. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for that. I hope when you get it, y'all read the entire essay that she had in there. It's powerful stuff. And our last reader for today is Juan Perez. And full disclosure, Juan is my hombre, my brother, him and his wife Malia. And Juan is a Mexican American poet of indigenous descent and was the poet laureate for Corpus Christi, Texas from 2019 to 2020. He's the author of several books of poetry, including Screw the Wall and other brown people poems. The award-winning poet, history teacher, and pushcart nominee is also a member of the Horror Writers Association, the Science Fiction Poetry Association, and the Military Writers Society of America. Juan worships his creator and chases chupacabras in the South Texas coastal Bend area.
Gracias, gracias.
There you are.
Gracias. Can you hear me? Can't see.
We can hear you.
Buenas tardes desde el Cuerpo de Cristo, Texas. Good afternoon, everybody. I usually take my political poems in the spirit of Cocopelli, the trickster. So sometimes it's funny to some people, sometimes it's not so funny. I believe that these three, I actually tried to keep this one short and did the haiku. And this is called The Neo-Insurrectionists Taking Back America, with 3 Ks, number 1 and 2 and 3. True red triplicans believing in all you read, but don't even read. 2. America first, nation's capital second, dead dreams for dummies. And the last one. Last one is unfortunately had a deadly result to it. Nut taser technique. It's not fun if it's not pain, or so they told me, or so they told you. Thank you.
Thanks so much for that. I'm going to take a moment to see if anybody has any questions. Pop them in the chat. And I guess I should check Facebook to see if anybody had any questions over there. Because we are streaming live on Facebook right now. I hope I don't get feedback from my phone. Turn the volume down. I was just completely honored and blown away by the powerful words that came in, and I hope y'all all were too. I think that Kelly's right. Recovering from this is going to be messy. It's not something that we can say, oh, well, Biden's president now and we can go on, because we know we can't. And I think it is dependent upon poets and writers and those with a voice to speak up and speak out. I think as artists, we have a responsibility to do so. And you have definitely spoken up and spoken out today. So I just want to thank everybody one more time. Thank you so much. You can go to Amazon and purchase your copy now, or you can go to gnashingteethpublishing.com and you can order there. Just know it'll take a little longer because we're waiting on our bulk order to come in, but you can order it straight from us also, either way. And please support all these poets wherever they're at. You can find them all over the web. I hope see y'all have been dropping your links in the chat box. So you can contact us at Gnashing Teeth Publishing if y'all want to say, hey, how do I find this poet? I'll send you their way. So thank you again so much. And y'all have a great day, everybody. Anybody got anything? That's it. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And thank all the poets too.
Yes. All of y'all. all y'all.
Karen, did you write something?
I did, and I can't read it or I'll cry. So something y'all don't know about me, I'm an Army vet. So I'm very outspoken about a lot of things. I'm going to tell you right now, it is my honest and true belief that anybody that had anything to do with the military should be tried as a traitor because they swore an oath to the Constitution, not to a person. And I will go to my grave saying that. So that's what I have to say about that.
Amen.
But
Amen.
Thank you. Thanks for your service too.
oh, thanks. It was nothing. There's a lot of veterans in here too. So thank all of y'all.
Thank you.
So thanks. Thank y'all again. Thank y'all all so much. So much. Have a great one.
Thank you.